Hi, I'm Leah from What's New in Secondary Education, and I'm going to talk about interactive notebooks today. When I first heard about interactive notebooks, I was very reluctant to implement them in my classroom. That's because I thought they're going to be really difficult, they're going to be time-consuming, they're going to confuse the kids. That's actually not the case at all. Interactive notebooks have been around for a very long time, but they've recently gained a lot of popularity. That's because when implemented correctly, they work. Interactive notebooks have been a game changer in my own classroom, and as a matter of fact, my only regret about implementing them is that I didn't do it sooner. The purpose of interactive notebooks is to provide students with all the information they need for a course or a topic right there at their fingertips. Interactive notebooks help students with organization, they provide them with room for reflection, which is very important, and they place accountability on the students rather than the teacher or a test book for information they must learn. The best part, all you need to get started is a notebook and glue. Many teachers use composition notebooks to go interactive, and that's fine, but my personal preference is a spiral notebook. I like these because they're bigger and full sheet handouts don't have to be trimmed before gluing in. You also need tabs, homemade or purchased, to separate topics. The first thing I have my students do when starting a new unit is number the pages. Odd numbers on the bottom left, even numbers on the bottom right. If I know Unit 6 is 24 pages, for example, I have them number 1 to 24, so they don't mess up as the unit progresses. I use odd pages for notes or new content, and even pages for reflection on that content. Some teachers do a table of contents for the entire notebook. I do a separate one for each unit. I type the table of contents up in advance for simplicity, but another option is to have students write their own table of contents as the unit progresses directly into the notebook. This will keep everybody on the same page and help keep the students organized. For me, content goes on the left side, the odd pages, although some teachers flip that around and have the content on the right side and the reflections on the left side, but I think right to left, or rather left to right, so that's what I ask the students to do. When I deliver content in the form of notes, I prefer close or fill in the blank notes in a heavy content course such as world history. Students can also write their own notes directly onto the page. So I use the right or even side of the page for students to reflect on the new content that I've delivered or that they've gotten through a web quest or independent study. They should use that space to manipulate, categorize, summarize, apply, or analyze the new information that is on the odd page. The reflection can be student choice or teacher prescribed. The interactive notebook is hands-on. That's the whole point of it. So really great tools for student reflection are foldable graphic organizers. There are so many out there. There's one for every possible need. Accordions, for example, are great for putting events in order, Venn diagrams for comparing, and simple flaps for really anything from answering questions to defining. Here's an example of a simple flap foldable that I give to my students when they get content from watching a short film clip or completing a short reading. They choose 3 key events, illustrate them on the outside, and describe them on the inside. I use the Explain foldable to illustrate and explain events in a story or specific historical events. I use the Cause and Effect foldable to examine outcomes of events. I know a lot of teachers who think elementary school when they think flip books, but they're really great for middle and high school. I know all the way up to seniors in my classes really enjoy them. Flip books fit nicely into a page of a notebook. They're good for delving into a topic in greater depth while simultaneously providing a structure for organizing information. Probably my and my students' most favorite thing about foldable graphic organizers is that they can be manipulated into the shape of whatever topic you're discussing. This is fantastic for visual learners. For example, the causes of World War I are often illustrated using the powder keg analogy. So why not shape the graphic like a powder keg? In sociology, we discuss social institutions. Each institution works together to make society function or turn, so why not put it on a spinner and call it the wheel of society? Or shape an organizer about triangular trade like a triangle. Or, and this is a lot of fun, make a 3D pop-up of a medieval manorial system instead of just a flat diagram. Students reflect in color and 3D with foldable graphic organizers. They benefit visually, kinesthetically, verbally. All kinds of learners benefit from these. Of course, students don't have to fold to reflect. They can write or draw directly onto the page. Storyboards, comics, narratives, mock social media pages are always fun. To the left is a Twitter feed based on a lecture about the Renaissance. You can use technology to add variety to content delivery and reflection. If students work directly in their notebooks, the entire thing will serve as a study guide. At exam time, I like to use task cards to bring everything together. In my world history course, we have 12 units to review. That's a lot of information to bring together. With the interactive notebook, there is no searching for notes and handouts. Everything is right there. All I have to say is flip to Unit 5, page 12, and we're all on the same page. I'm not speaking about empirical research today, but according to my classroom feedback and data, employing the interactive notebook as a study guide improves student confidence and performance on summative assessments. They also simplify test corrections, transforming assessment into a learning opportunity. Thank you for spending the past few minutes with me considering how interactive notebooks benefit the secondary classroom. And be sure to check out the other great video blogs and free ebooks from the Tools for Teaching Teens group.